And so we are live on Pazito Radio with Dr. Araba Osenkwisi. Welcome, Dr. Araba.
Thank you very much, Sister Agnes.
Yeah. Now it's a privilege to see you today or have you on the studio today to talk about our health.
I'm always happy to be here.
And so tell us who you are, and because it might be somebody's first time, and then the reason why we are here.
Right. So, as you clearly mentioned, my name is Araba. I am a lecturer and a researcher in public health nutrition. So, my research focuses on nutritional problems and diet-related conditions, diseases. What are the determinants of these conditions? What can we do to prevent these conditions? And I kind of focus on generally African nutrition, but in the last few years, I've focused on the nutrition of Black people in Europe, so Black minority ethnic groups. Yeah. So that's why I'm here today to talk about some of these issues affecting us, Black people.
And today our topic is cholesterol.
Yes.
We'll be hearing cholesterol is low, is high, whatever it is. But we don't really, and some of us will not even understand what is cholesterol. So today we are here and we have the privilege to ask you, what is cholesterol? We've heard about this huge name, what it is.
Thank you, Sister Adam. Yes, indeed. It's interesting because cholesterol has a very bad reputation. You say we hear a lot about cholesterol. Yeah, it's known to be not so good, but the truth about cholesterol is that it is a fatty substance that is produced mainly in the liver and needed for our existence as human beings. Is very important for us. We need cholesterol. You can find cholesterol in all the cells in the body and is needed for the formation of certain vital vitamins, certain hormones in the body, and another important substance known as the bile. So the bile is produced in the body to break down the fats that we eat. Okay, so like I said, it has a bad reputation, but it shouldn't be. It is very important for our existence. It is only when it becomes too much in the body that it becomes a bit of a bad thing. But otherwise, it is important for our existence.
Oh, so we need it as well.
We do need cholesterol. We need it, not just for our existence, but for us to stay healthy. We need it. Yeah.
So now, what is the difference between the good and the bad?
Okay, so I'm glad you mentioned that, because then that means that you're already aware that there are two types of cholesterol. Now, it is produced, about 75% of cholesterol is produced in the liver, but the rest of it is gotten from food. Now, when this cholesterol is produced, earlier on I said that cholesterol is a fatty substance that is produced in the body. Because it is fatty, it is not able to circulate in the blood like that. It's just like having water and oil. It's difficult for it to mix. So because cholesterol is fatty, nature has devised a strategy. So God in his own way has produced other substances known as lipoproteins. Now, these lipoproteins carry the cholesterol. So when the cholesterol is produced in the liver, lipoproteins are like transport, if you like car. They are transport mechanisms that carry the cholesterol from the liver to all the cells of the body, or all the parts of the body that is needed. Now, I'm coming to tell you the difference between the two. So there's one known as the low density lipoprotein. These ones are known as the bad cholesterol, but technically, I want people to get the distinction. They are not really bad because these ones carry cholesterol to the arteries, all the parts of the body that cholesterol is needed. It is only when this low density lipoproteins becomes too much that it becomes bad. So even though it's called bad cholesterol, it is not bad. It as long as it's within what the body needs, it is okay. It is when it goes beyond, what the body needs. So I wish I could show my diagram, but because I can't, I can still explain. The artery is like a a pipe, So the blood flows through that pipe. But when the cholesterol becomes too much, it forms a layer. So if you have something like this, and then the blood is supposed to pass through, but when cholesterol becomes too much, it forms a layer in the artery, which is known as plaque. It is when this becomes too much that we say, it's because it can become too much that we say it's called bad cholesterol. Now, the other one, which is known as high density lipoprotein, carries the excess bad cholesterol from the arteries back into the liver. Do you understand? So the bad one carries it from the liver to the arteries, and it is when it becomes too much, it forms a layer in the artery, a fatty layer called plaque. And that is why we say it is bad cholesterol, because it has consequences on health. But the good one takes the excess cholesterol, so takes the bad cholesterol from that artery. So that layer that is formed, it takes it from there back into the liver for the liver to get rid of it, or do whatever it wants to do with it. That's the distinction between the two. Was that okay?
Yeah. So does it mean if somebody, I'll not say obese, that does it make a difference whether you are thin or you are fat? Does it really count? I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I do. You're asking whether overweight and obese can predispose you to getting cholesterol. Okay, so you're asking about risk factors.
If you are slim, it means you are not included. I just want to know the difference between that.
Okay, so yeah, indeed, being overweight and obese predisposes you to getting high cholesterol. But let's not make that mistake to think that it is only when you are fat that you can get high cholesterol. Very skinny people can also have high cholesterol. Very skinny people, slim people. The thing is that the problem with cholesterol is that it is we call it a silent killer. It doesn't have symptoms like other, like diabetes and some of these conditions. Cholesterol doesn't have symptoms. So, of course, being overweight and obese will put you in a higher risk. But then being a slim person or very skinny or underweight doesn't mean that you cannot get high. There's so many skinny people walking around who still have high cholesterol but don't even know about it. Okay, so yeah, overweight and obesity is one of the risk factors. Other things could also be like smoking, not exercising. These are all things, lifestyle conditions that could lead you to get a high cholesterol. It could also be genetic. There are some people who have it running in their family. So if you have a family that has, your father or mother has these conditions, you are likely to also develop high cholesterol as you grow. Yeah.
So what are the causes of this high cholesterol?
So, like I said, first of all, 75%, that's what I want people to understand, is produced by the body in the liver. But 25% is from our diets. So the kinds of foods that we eat, So if we want to dwell into that, I'm sure most people know the fatty foods that we eat, the saturated fats, so all those animal fats, the skin of the chicken, the meat that has a lot of fats, whole milk, all these baked foods, the meat pie, all these foods contain.
What about the canned one?
No, it also has high fat. Yeah. So the milk that has high, all that contains this kind of fat we call saturated fat. So these kinds of foods, and then the way we also cook our foods, the oils, the way we overcook our oil, and all that research has shown that cooking oil for so long a time could also and that's how we cook when we're preparing our stews. We cook it for hours and hours. All these behaviors could result in high cholesterol. But having said that, those other things I mentioned, smoking, not being physically active, and diet, these are some of the key things. And then also having other conditions. Sometimes people have diabetes and hypertension. Some of these conditions can also predispose you to having high cholesterol.
Okay, when we're talking about, I just want to shift a little bit about the way we cook. So how would we know how long we have to cook it? Because especially we Ghanaians, the stew will take about 2 hours, it's still on fire. So because I think we do that because we think it's not cooked. So in this case, because we are learning to change certain things.
Our behaviors. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm happy you mentioned we Ghanaians, so I'll use our Ghanaian behaviors as well. You know this stew, I'll call it stew, abomu, that we
Yeah.
prepare. A lot of
Yeah.
Akans prepare. We
Yeah.
just grind fresh
Tomato, tomato, pepper,
tomatoes
onions,
and all that.
and the
And
normal
then
one.
at
Yeah.
the end, we warm the oil and we put it on. And yet we eat it and it's cooked. Is that not cooked for us when we do it that way? It is cooked. So that goes to show that you really don't have to cook your food for 30 minutes, 1 hour, and 2 hours like we do. Because if we can eat abomu, because the way we prepare it at home is that you just cook the vegetables. So if it's contomere for few minutes, and that is fine. The pepper, the onions, we don't even cook that. You just
Yeah.
grind it fresh, and then the oil is warmed at the end for like a minute or so, and then we pour this on the food, and it still tastes good. It retains all the nutrients in there. There is no chemical reaction going on because you are overheating the oil. No. So if you look at just this example, the abomu that I've talked
I'm
about,
saying it, the one we can just eat it with kinky.
what
The
about that?
onion,
What
the
about
fresh
the
pepper.
pepper sauce?
Yeah, we just grind it and we can eat it.
And we can eat it. So for me, my advice is, some people, we are used to a certain way of cooking. We need to cook for the onion to be brown and all that. If that is what you want to do, and then you know because of the taste, I would advise people to cook. You could cook it with just a bit of oil, or not without oil. Okay, just cook it, and at the end, just add a little oil to it. Use the oil to grease the saucepan. There's no point having a layer of oil on your food if you know that having that kind of the layer of oil is going to predispose you to getting high cholesterol and then all these other conditions like hypertension and all that. Indeed, oil makes food taste good. Fat has that ability. But we need to think about our health. We which one do we need to have a balance. Yes, but we have to have a balance. If you can eat your kenke with pepper sauce that is not stewed, you can eat abomu that is not stewed. Why should you cook your tomato stew for an hour or two, just because you want to have a particular taste? You're doing it at your own risk. So that's what I'll say. If you can eat abomu without cooking, use the same analogy and try and cook your food less. Yeah.
So, what are problems associated with this cholesterol?
Okay, so when I was explaining the two types of cholesterol, I used the fact that when you have excess cholesterol, it forms a layer in the artery. So the artery is like that, it's like a tube, and then the cholesterol forms a fatty substance in there. So look at a water hose, for instance. It's hollow, but when you have a layer in there, it blocks the path of the water. It's the same thing. When you have that plaque, it becomes hardened in the artery, and then it doesn't allow the blood to flow through easily. And the heart is responsible for pumping blood to all parts of the body. Now, when the plaque is formed in the artery, it makes the artery stiff and hard, and that puts pressure on your blood, pressure on your heart to pump more. Because that the artery has become narrow. If it was like that, it's become narrow as a result of the plaque that is formed there. So the heart has to work more to be able to pump blood to all parts of the body. It weakens the heart. That's one of the problems. Now, if the plaque is formed in an artery that is, or a vein that is close to your heart, it can block the blood flow to your heart, and that could result in heart attack. Okay, because if you don't have blood going into your heart, it could lead to heart attack. If that plaque as a result of the high cholesterol is formed in your brain, it could result in a stroke. Okay, because the blood is not going there. It could result in dementia. There's also even sometimes people don't feel, you don't have any sensation in your legs, in your limbs, so when the arteries are blocked there, the blood doesn't go to those parts of your body, and that could lead to amputation. So the cells die. So you have people whose feet, they don't have any sensations in their legs because of that. There's no blood flowing there. And then when the cells die like that, they have to be amputated.
So the
Another
frequency is
yeah,
very huge.
yeah. There's also a link between high cholesterol and gallstones. So it could lead, a lot of the fats could lead in the formation of hard stones that could lead to abdominal pains. People sometimes complain of a severe abdominal pains as a result of these stones that are formed from having high cholesterol. Okay, but this usually occurs over a period of time, because as I said, when you have high cholesterol, you don't have any symptoms. You will not know until you go and test. Okay, so it is after you've had it for a long time, and then that it could result in some of these things I'm talking about. But usually it can be managed. It can be managed, but if you leave it without doing anything about it,
Somebody is saying, please, my friend only understand tree, but he needs to understand this.
I can explain it in tree for you. Which part should I explain in tree? The way I make tree. That's okay. So should I talk about the implications? I can explain that in tree.
Yeah.
So the main can say archery na. I know the meaning what it is in tree. We na archery na blood ni fame call all parts of the body no. So what cholesterol bebree a forme bibi ewo artery no, and I may explain this. Artery no I say tube, I say straw. What the funny bibi is a straw. Was it in for straw? But say bibi could carry straw ni musana. It will not allow whatever you are sipping to go through. It's the same way. More jamming to me and because cholesterol.
I just want viewers to know there is a spelling mistake, and we'll correct it when we finish. So that's fine. There is about health, and we realize that, but if we have to do it, we have to put everything on hold. So we'll do that as soon as we finish. Guys.
It is a cholesterol no ye bebree na e form sa plaque na make no e wo artery no a emma moja into me, and a moja carries all the nutrients the body needs. It carries so many things. It's a moja into me enko the parts of the body na was econo what you say. And akumano ne pump blood echo the different parts of the body. It is a artery no na vessel na moja di fame say blocked with cholesterol we na ye kana. It puts pressure on the heart, because heart na will say more answer it's mere pump blood. So that's the first consequence. You say ebema will heart na you weak, because it has to work more and sana moja and nutrients into all the parts of your body. Number one. Na say cholesterol also it goes to be deposited in an artery. Artery be close to your heart now. And also so moja be into me run freely to your heart. It's a to me cause a heart attack, because a blockade passage now. I was thinking moja nutrients near oxygen bibia echo heart. It's a need to me cause a heart attack. The same way, say cholesterol also a blockade vessel the artery be brain one. It to me cause you can say stroke. And then I mean explaining the same way. When 9 crowd, your limbs, your feet, and then when 9 say cholesterol echo blocking artery be a cohonoma. And then a sometimes in cophobia or omunya atinka ewo omo 9 yes, it continues for longer. Your legs have to be amputated. You be chow 9 because the bianco cholesterol America say, but I also added say, and yes, we have high cholesterol and when you say it take a idea cholesterol na build it up for a long time. Said American motiasi. And then I also said say any beginning any symptoms. So high cholesterol. So one uncle check your hospital. You can live with this for so many years. You don't know. So when you about not too late.
And then the question that I mean, says, how do you check it, or how you find out that you have high cholesterol?
Sure. So usually when you're 40 years and above, it increases your risk. So the advice is that ideally, we are 40 years and above. You should go for a health check.
Oh,
Yeah, usually 40 years and above, NHS has those kind of health check. But if not, when you go to your GP, ask for it. So you want to check. Before, we tend to be more at risk to some of these conditions. You don't wait till you have a condition. You are 40 years and more. Ask for a cholesterol, test. They will take finger prick or a blood test, from your arm, and within minutes, results is ready. It's ready, and then they will usually they'll explain it to you. Like I say, your total cholesterol should not be more than 5. So they'll break it down. They'll let you know how much of bad cholesterol you have, how much of good cholesterol you have, and how much of total cholesterol you have. In the past, they used to say before you do such a test, you shouldn't eat. But now research has shown that it doesn't even matter who did you or when did you, it's fine. They can still be able to tell you your cholesterol level and then advise you accordingly. Yeah.
So now let's see where the 40. If you know you are 40 and above, please do not wait. Because even now, there's a lot of things that they used to do when you are 50. Now they said after 40, when you are close to 50, they will let you do it. So we know how to check. How can we prevent this high cholesterol and all those things? How can we prevent it?
So if you look at some of the things that I mentioned, the risk factors, now it goes back to our lifestyle. Lifestyle. No, lifestyle, the eating is just one part of it. Your lifestyle. So of course, it's important, but it's just one part of it. Exercise. A lot of these things we'll be talking about on this show has to do with our lifestyle. So a lifestyle modification. In fact, even before I talk about preventing it, let me just talk about how it can be managed.
Okay.
And there are some people who would definitely need medication, because I told you to say a bit no more. It could be as a result of genetic makeup and the fact that you have it running in your family. Okay, so there are some people, no matter what, you would need medication. But having said that, medication would only work when you have a good diet, when you eat healthy. So I just needed to say that. So even with a lifestyle condition, there are some times that you definitely have to take medication. Now, that's one thing. Our dietary habits, we already touched on some of them. So once you have it, there's so many things you need to cut down. You need to, for the general population, we have guidelines on cutting down on saturated fat. But for you who have high cholesterol, you would need a menu plan from an expert to tell you what to cut down or what to remove from your diet totally. You need that kind of, but it just includes things like all these oils we've spoken about, all these. I wanted to show, if you look at, there's something known as the Eat Well Guide. That is what guides what we should eat here in the UK. If you look at the Eat Well Guide, it says that for us to eat healthy, about 1/3 of our foods that we eat should be made of carbohydrates. So, whole grains like rice, our yam, our plantain should just be 1/3 of that, of what we eat in a day or in a plate, in our plate. The other 1/3 is fruits and vegetables. Okay. Now, I've divided the plate into 3.
Yeah.
The other third comprises all the other stuff like your meat, your fish, your pulses. The advice is that increase your pulses. So pulses like legumes, your beans, your pulses. Eat meats in moderation. As for processed meats, the advice is to just not have those at all. So the sausages and things, cut down on it totally. Then have about 2 portions of fish as well. Now, still, I'm talking about that third part of the Eat Well Guide. The same third 1/3 also includes your fats and oil. If you look at it, the fat and oil is really, really very tiny in there. Okay, it also includes your dairy products, so your milk and all those things. I always like to say this. So for us, especially, I know about Ghanaians. A lot of us, because back in Ghana, milk was so difficult for a lot of homes. When we come here, we just use the milk. We pour it like you tin milk. You pour like half in just 1 cup of tea. All these things are not helpful. If you're using the Eat Well Guide, you're supposed to actually not even choose that milk. Choose a low-fat milk. Okay. Now, these other things, still looking at the Eat Well guide, the other things like the meat pie, the donuts, the chips, you really don't even need that if you want to live healthy. But knowing us as humans, we have sweet tooth and we want to have these every now and then. So you have to have these sparingly. I'm talking about even for the ordinary population. These
Yeah.
things should be eaten sparingly, not like every day. No, we having it as a snack, meat pie, donuts. No. Okay, so for someone who has high cholesterol, you really have to cut down on all these things. Okay, so that is just the dietary bit.
I know Vivian Nash, Miss Afia Noah joining, so she was asking, please let me ask this question for someone. What is cholesterol and what is it for? I think because of that person's sake, we just summarize a little bit because we said we did an introduction about what cholesterol is, and so but I will let Doctor just go a little bit over Vivian Nash.
Okay, yes. Okay, so cholesterol, I said that a lot of people know it as something bad. I said it has a bad reputation, but I tried to clarify it here on this show that cholesterol is needed for our existence as human beings. We need cholesterol. We need it to live healthy. It is only when we have it in excess that it becomes a problem. We need it for certain vitamins. We need it for certain hormones. It is needed for the formation of a very important substance known as bile. Bile is needed in the digestion of fats. Okay, so these are just some of the examples of the things that cholesterol is needed for. You can find cholesterol in every cell of the body. So it is, in a nutshell, it is something, a fatty substance that is needed for our existence. It is needed for us to live healthy. It is only when it goes beyond, it becomes excess that it has implications on our health. Is that answered?
Yes, her next question is what kind of food cause high cholesterol so that we can stop eating it? Please
So
step ahead.
yeah, it's fine. I can still. It always, it's good to
Yeah.
re-emphasize some of these points. So it is not only food. I'll come to the food, but I need you to understand that first of all, 75% of cholesterol is produced in the liver. Now the rest is gotten from diet. Okay, and I'll talk about the foods. But before then, there's so many other things you need to consider. It's not just your diet. You need to live, be physically active, do a bit of exercise. That is very important. If you don't do it, it will predispose you to having high cholesterol and other diet related conditions. So that's one. Smoking, drinking, these are all things that could predispose you to having high cholesterol. Now let's come to the food. I said that such foods that contain saturated fats, and I was giving examples like margarine, and then I also talked about all our oils, the fact that the way we cook, the way the foods that for sure don't have cholesterol are our fruits and vegetables. Something like avocado doesn't have it, our fruits and vegetables don't. And I try to use, I don't want you to focus only on high cholesterol. I wanted to give us the general guidelines on how we can eat healthy. Because once you eat healthy, generally, not only thinking about cholesterol, you can avoid high cholesterol and avoid so many other diet related conditions like hypertension and diabetes and all that. I mean, type 2 diabetes. So I broke down what the Eat Well guide tells us on what we should have in a week. And I explained that 1/3 of what you eat should be made up of the carbohydrates. Examples, just 1/3. A lot of the times our food is like 2/3 or, like almost 3/4 of our food is made up of carbs. 1/3 should be made up of the whole grains like rice and the yam, the plantain. 1/3 should be fruits and vegetables, which we know don't have cholesterol. And then I said the other third, the other third has so many things in there. It's some of these things that are bad for us. So I was breaking it down to you. The other third comprises things like whole milk and dairy products. Okay, so that's just 1/3 of your plate has that. It has the meat, the fish, and the advice is to have more pulses and grains. So that 1/3 also contains pulses and grains, pulses and legumes like beans. So the advice is to have more of these beans, cowpea, chickpeas, beans, as compared to the fish and the meat. Red meat should be had, very less. As for processed meat like sausages and then the ham and things, we don't advise people to have lots of these. So try and cut down on these. There's a lot of debate on egg. There's a lot of debate. Some people say don't have eggs at all. Some people, the research is mixed. Okay, indeed, the yolk contains cholesterol. The yolk of an egg contains cholesterol, but we don't tell people don't eat eggs at all. No, if you follow the Eat Well guide that I'm telling you, you actually do know that these animal products are not supposed to be eaten a lot. Okay, so having eggs is not a problem. Just don't have 2 or 3 eggs in a day. Okay, if you're following the Eat Well guide and you want to have one, it's fine. But for adults, the advice is to actually have more of the whites. Okay, it doesn't mean don't eat the yolk at all. But if you want to eat more eggs, maybe focus on the white because the yolk contains more of the cholesterol. What else? What else should you avoid? I talked
So now
about
with the eggs, I think I'm still with the eggs.
okay,
How
yeah.
many do you think in a week can an age from 40, I can say, because when all these things they start
Yeah,
when you are 40 and
yeah.
above.
So I
So
use
how many can you eat a
mm,
week as a woman, or because some people will say, oh, when you eat too much egg, you have fibroid, you have that, you have that. But at times it's just saying sick. You don't really know whether it's true or not. So how many eggs per a week can you have, do you think?
sadness. I usually don't want to commit to say have 2 or 3 or 4. What I want people to understand is that the yolk contains a lot of cholesterol, but
It's more
egg,
about the yolk, not the
yeah,
white.
the white is okay. The white is okay. But if you understand the concept of healthy eating, and then you are considering everything else, and you know you shouldn't have a lot of these animal products in the first place, I would have like one a day, but even that it wouldn't be every day. It will be every day. If you have 2, 3, 4, usually when we are doing menu plans for people, there are so many things that we also take into consideration. Okay, so what I would eat might differ from what you would eat depending on things like your level of physical activity. So some people might have a sedentary lifestyle, some people might be very active, and all these things are taken into consideration. Okay, so to the general public, eat it in moderation. If you're 14 above, don't be taking 2 eggs a day or 3, the chibums and things. Okay. If you want to have more eggs, have more of the white. If in a week you decide to have 2 or 3 eggs, that shouldn't be a problem. Every now and then, even when I use the bad foods like the chips and pancake and things, sometimes you happen to be in an environment that you might have it, like 3 or 4 times in a week. It's okay. Okay, so if it happens that there are times you've had it continuously for a week, it's okay, but don't make it a point to have like 2 or 3 eggs like daily. That is unhealthy. That is
What
unhealthy.
about the young ones? Like the
No,
young
it's
ones, the
very
young
nutritious
teenagers.
for young ones. It is if you are younger, especially children, egg is one of the foods that has a lot of nutrients. So for children, you can give them eggs daily. That is fine. It's
I
very
mean,
good.
those if I mean children, like the age from before 20.
Yes, it's still fine. Teenagers, it's okay. Infants,
Oh,
it's okay. Younger
okay.
ones, it's okay. It's only for adults that you shouldn't focus too much on that. Okay, focus on the plant-based fruits and vegetables, green leafy vegetables, and then very less of these animal products. Very less of this. More of fish. So the oily fish like 2 times in a week. More of these legumes, beans, and cowpea, chickpeas. Okay. Um, One day when I come on, I'll
And all those things. Turmeric, all
yes.
those things. When we're in Ghana, at times you think it's the poor people who eat the contumely and all those things. Little do we know that they were doing the best thing. I will tell that
You
somebody's
realize
eating
that our
contumely.
our grandmothers and grandfathers in the villages live long. They
Yes,
live
they
very
do.
long. It is those of us who live in the cities who are dying prematurely. We are eating lots. We think that, now I think it's changing, but yeah, it's we see these foods, the unhealthy foods, as status foods. So the fried rice, the fried chicken, you know, food
As
chibom,
you
3 or 4.
say, fry. What is the best method?
So I always go back to what I talked about earlier on. So, but that's just for stew. If you want to do meat, chicken, there's grilling, there's baking, there's poaching, there's boiling. Okay. We know, like I said, people do the frying because it tastes nicer. Yeah, we get it. But we need to learn how to spice
But the
up.
fried and the grilling, if you really season it well, you still get the same taste.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you will
Okay, I
still
also,
get
when I
the
did
same
my
taste as
research, it
you grill
wasn't just the
it.
taste. There's other reasons. Someone told me that grilling takes a long time. It takes like 45 minutes to 1 hour, gas
Yeah.
bills, electricity bills. But frying takes 5-10 minutes. Okay, so that is why when I talk about these things, I say it is time for us to invest in ourselves. True.
Yeah.
If you want to eat healthy, it is expensive. If you
It
decide to grill every time, of course, your bill will go up as compared. So it's not just the taste. People try to do that because it's economical. But if we don't invest in our health now,
nothing
the
can be compared to
consequences,
health.
and then and that's why I say I like to talk about our nutrition because of the research I did. A lot of
Yeah.
us, we have double homes, apart from like helping at home, which I have no problem with. But that
Mhm.
mentality of getting property, I cannot stop saying this. You're focusing so much on getting so much at home, which is also fine.
What
Nobody is
we
saying
are
don't
still
get
here.
property. And then we suffer here. You are saving money instead of grilling. You're telling me that you won't grill because it's too expensive, the bills, you have children, and then the light bill, electricity bill is too high, but you have money to save and go and build a house, and you're living here paying bills on that
Yeah.
house. At the end of the day, if you
Okay.
get high
Obviously,
cholesterol. Yes, is there a question?
what cause high cholesterol level is in cheap?
Sorry, what
Nneɛma a ɛma yɛn high cholesterol no,
means
ɔpɛ sɛ woka wɔ twi mu.
I can tree. Nyoma
Ɔpɛ sɛ woka
bebree.
no wɔ twi.
Nyoma bebree. Maka bi dada. Nti ya na, besi first of all no, ma men clarify we say ya na yesi osu a na wonya high cholesterol. Yes, so woyɛ kɛse a it can ɛma wo chances a wode benya we ni yɛ higher. It predisposes you to. So, can you
Yeah.
say that for me? Woyɛ kɛse a it,
Woyɛ kɛse a ɛkwan da hɔ sɛ ebetumi ama woayɛ because woso no nti no ebetumi ama woatumi anya high cholesterol. But deɛ
yeah.
ɔpɛ sɛ ɔkyɛn sɛ obi a ɔso biara nso na ɛwɔ bi. Woyɛ slim
And
koraa betumi anya.
and slim people bebree so to me bi. Enye kɛseɛ nko a slim people bebree wɔ high cholesterol. Now I know no could be because you kind of say a genetics so. So wo family mu a, sɛ wo busuafo wo bi
Ebi
a,
wɔ abusua mu a.
ebi wɔ abusua no mu a, wobɛtumi na wanhwɛ wo ho yie a, wo so wobɛtumi anya bi easily. Nti ɛno nso tumi kɔɔse. Now, sɛ wowɔ condition bi te sɛ diabetes, hypertension so a, ɛtumi ɛkɔɔse high cholesterol. Na ɛbɛtumi ama woanya high cholesterol. Wonyɛ any form of physical activity. Wonyɛ exercise biara, wonom nsa, wo smoky, all these things. Nti ɛyɛ nneɛma bebree. Aduane ne so yɛ one. Yɛ nnuane die no na meka yɛ oil bebrebe, fatty foods, yɛ margarine, ɛna yɛ nkyekyi ne meat bebrebe no. Yɛmpɛ fruits and vegetables.
Oh, advert, advert. Obi de bɛto so sɛ aburokyerɛ dɛ na ɔhwɛ fufuo no pa na ɛnam egu so a yɛmbɛhyɛ wo.
Especially yɛn before but not abrochia na ɛyɛ say because Ghana na yɛn nya nam bebree bi nam ne saa ɛnam meat your has bibi a friend is saturated fat and no unhealthy wodi meat bebree saa ɛbɛtumi ama wonya high cholesterol. And so these are the main things, or diet, or lifestyle, or physically as exercise. You can exercise now. And I did one I say going to the gym. It's not about going to the gym. Walking. Sometimes offer basa. instead of ube jina was baby also jina no jina 1 or 2 stops before, not 1 month. Every day, and walking few minutes, 30 minutes every day.
Now, if you ever out your band, so now to me, come back, what should I do time towards a walk, come back, crack.
Exactly.
Yeah, no was time on fro, no was
and hey, Nyana me refi bibi. Your friend is saying organ meat, your friend is saying yemwadie. It has high cholesterol. Dear, minimize it. Yeah, peleva ne sanyo yemwadie has it. Then also say I will say yesusu. And I make say inkosiano. I will say and also chibom na yedini bebrebe ni yente so. And I may say milk, milk no. A milk na containing high fat. Say yeah, and choosy low fat products. What you say? Say no, na me nka say me no, but susu no dodo. Yeah, and I eat coconut oil, palm oil, all of these. Yeah, palm oil, you're healthy. Oil be ufani bibria. Yeah, and yet even olive oil, you're healthy. Even olive oil and stress it allow it to have a layer of oil. As long as it is oil, it contains energy. Yes.
Now, okay. I don't know whether it's today or also what is the meaning of calories and can it cause cholesterol level?
Kind of saying kind of say carbs. So carbohydrates, fats, proteins, energy na what side in your friend calories. Energy na free side in can it cause can it cause also can it cause
high cholesterol level high? Yeah.
And their cause what causes high cholesterol and I make a saturated fat and calories per se, or because it uses so carbs will have calories, carbohydrates have calories as well. What causes it? Saturated fat. Saturated fat, a type of fat. There were different types of fat. What you say? Into the different saturated fats, the sources, that is what I've mentioned. The sources of these ones Nama mentioned is in things like margarine and all those foods that I mentioned. So it's not calories in all. Of course, calories, when you have more excess calories, it causes problems. Excess calories, we obese. So what you say for calories comes from not just carbohydrates, but from proteins and from fats. So they all have calories. Now, if you have more calories than you use, expenditure. Producing more calories than their ube using. If you're asking, does it cause cholesterol? Excess calories, yes, will make you overweight or obese. It will make you fat. And once you get fat, it predisposes you to having high cholesterol. But I need to emphasize, that is not the only thing that can make you get high cholesterol. Even when you are slim, you can get high cholesterol. So it's just one of the risk factors. Auntie Agnes, is that do you think that is clear?
I think it should be clear, yeah. Because also the crowd was shops usually amount so adie bia wo kotono sha e be cho salt content e wo mu calories e wo mu e cheche ye ni anti e be hwe no so e be boa ye be sure say we unti no wo no ma be hwe dudu a wo be di efisa de no ahwe ni a cholesterol ni wo low to say yogurt to say ukwu e be sure say this is a full cream. And two dear was a full cream. You will be asking us a low fat. And you a choice, sir, you're quite what's a yes, and I answer you choose to say. Oh, yeah, me who say yogurt or full cream. Tina didn't need you know, a full cream. Bronia sa ye bi watch us and no de a low fat. And why na nye de o. Na so mi a wani a.
ɛno ne asɛm ɛno na ɛyɛ a
And yet there so no wo mi a wani na wo de wo pure honey afa ketewa bi so. Oh, wo de honey ketewa bi so mo a e ma no timi sisama kama no wadi. Aha honey ne de bi wo ha na esitire nko a. Na mo ofunya papa no. Wo de ketewa bi so mo a. Instead of a high cream a kire say we de full cream. And I said, Doctor King, yen na yen hwɛ. Ɛyɛ na anema ne bi wɔ hɔ a wodi enye de. Na wo yen hwɛ de nsunsuaso a ye benya. Baby te sɛ whole milk they say. Ɛwɔ hɔ. Na broni ahyɛ da no wa ma wo. Semi and wa ma skim. Etu nkɔtɔ a nkwalaa ne de whole milk na ye ma wɔ mo. Na wokɔ a semi at least wo de wo mpɛ skim no kora hwɛ semi de ne kakra na ayɛ ɛhɔ ne ɛhɔ. Brodo ya ye kin kokoto brodo a broni pent wa ye ebi wo ho a na white na the moon but won see ye 50-50 who the until they started from the 50-50 me fi ha me to all meal am ko na me di tim di chef fridge ho a ya na ja me bu ma de kakra na ma be because who the white na chi abedi a enkola no mo pe white nti wo na the 50-50 na the fe from kakra na je so mo di na wo de what to hold no wo de a chef fridge wo be yi wa de kakra no wa fa yẹn hwɛ yɛn ho so yie because aburokyerɛ yɛ ya na afei wɔbɛwie na yareɛ na sisi ka yɛ pɛ yɛ nyinaa yɛde ba abɛhwɛ yareɛ a yɛn hwɛ sɛnea ɛno ho sunsuasoɔ no nso. What I'm trying to say is when you go to the shop you have when you take the any pack you want they've told you because I'm just saying about what our sister said about the calories. They will show you the calories, the salt, everything is there. So let us try and check as well. And I'm talking about cream, full cream yogurt. It's there. And then we have the low fat. The full cream is not usually, it's not really sweet.
That's good.
Yeah, but the content in it. So let's try and adjust it. If you have the pure honey, just pour a little bit. I'm talking about experience, a little bit there. And then when you take it, you realize you are getting used to that. The next time you are taking it without it, you feel okay. So let's try and say, can you get a condition of whilst you are in slim? Wow. Yes, doctor said yes, but I know because I have somebody who is slim who has high. Our sister was asking, how can you get high cholesterol level whilst you are slim? Wow,
yeah,
I'm surprised. Yes, you can.
Because overweight and obesity is just one of the risk factors. And then that's what I wanted to emphasize on that. Said being fat is just one of the risk factors for getting high cholesterol. There's so many other things that causes high cholesterol. And I mentioned some of them. I can just recap these ones. So when you have conditions like diabetes, hypertension, it could predispose you to having high cholesterol. If you have it running in your family, so genetics. So someone could be slim, and it could be because the mother or father had it. If you don't have a good lifestyle, you can get high cholesterol. Now, I talked about smoking, drinking, physical inactivity. All these things are risk factors of high cholesterol. So being overweight and obese, yes, can make you get high cholesterol, but it's just one of the risk factors. Now, there's so many people who are overweight and obese who also don't have high cholesterol. Okay, so let's get that clear. Let's not confuse it. Say because you are fat, you have high cholesterol. No, that's not the case.
Because somebody might be slim, but the things the person eats.
Yeah. So when I say that it's genetic, so if you have it running in your family, it doesn't mean say automatic. It doesn't mean you are going to get it automatic. It also depends on your lifestyle. So if your lifestyle is not good, if you're not eating well, if you're not physically active, when we say lifestyle, it's not just food. You have to be physically active. You have to do some form of exercises. Okay, so if you are not keeping fit, that could also predispose you to. And then a lot of the times people think that when you are slim, you don't need exercises or you don't need to keep fit. No, that is wrong. Whether you are slim or fat, it is important for us to all try and be physically active. Okay, exercise regularly. So
before we go, what are you going to summarize the whole thing? Or what else do you want to advise? before we.
Okay. So I just wanted to quickly, for people who might have missed this part, some of the dietary management or some of the things to do with diet that we can do. So we need to limit our foods that have saturated fats. And I'm just going to mention some of these again. So the fatty parts of red meat. Also, sometimes red meat has these fatty parts and it tastes good.
And
So
first Ghana, of course, Papa Moses won't trust that they even to some mame.
exactly. We
That
need that part. So those fatty parts of the red meat should be avoided. Liver and other organ meats, it has high cholesterol. Eat it in moderation. So if you have high cholesterol and you're trying to manage your
One
diet,
thing what about gizzard?
it's part of organ meat.
Okay.
It is. I'm not saying don't eat it, but limit it. Eat it in moderation. Or dear, if you have high cholesterol, you might even want to consider taking it out. So, okay. Then other products like full fat cheese, milk, ice cream, margarine, butter, palm oil, coconut oil. Again, it is not to say don't eat palm oil or not coconut oil, but the way we cook and have a layer of oil on our foods. Let's cook and try and just take 3 or 4 teaspoons to grease the pan. I know, so we are so used to the fact that the stew or the soup should have a layer of oil. That is when to us it looks good to us, but it is not healthy. Okay, so if you prepare the soup and the layer is there, take everything off it. Take the oil off it. Okay, then anything that is deep fried, so our plantain, deep frying chicken, deep frying potatoes, all those things, or high cholesterol, you want to not have those foods. Baked things, cookies, muffins, cake, all these things also can contribute to high cholesterol. My brother would say something like, it's as if you are telling people not to eat at all. No, if you are just trying to live a healthy life, cut down on these things. Don't risk it, because if it gets, I talked about the implications, the consequences of having high cholesterol, which includes heart attack, stroke, having kidney stones, and even having a condition that could lead to amputation of your legs. You don't want that. Okay, so it's about time we cut down on some of these things. Now, finally, my final words, I like to always end with this, because we are still in the COVID-19 pandemic. And so for us to try and boost our immune system, it's not only about eating healthy. Of course, we know that healthy eating is good. Exercise regularly, which does not mean go to the gym if you can't. Walking, skipping, all these things count. Water. Let's try and hydrate. Drink a lot of water. Let's cut down on our sodas and then the Coke and then the juices. People think that fruit juice or shops are healthy. A lot of them contain sugar. A lot of them fruit juice. It will have fruit juice written on it. It's just drink water. Take the fruit juice every now and then, sparingly. And then I cannot say this enough. Sleep. We don't sleep enough. We are too busy working, trying to earn so much money to get properties. And so we don't sleep enough. If we don't, and we eat healthy, we need, is a combination of all these: eating healthy, exercising regularly, drinking a lot of water, and then resting, sleeping enough. That is important.
If I'm getting it right, can cholesterol and calories stop your period?
Can cholesterol stop your period? I won't say yes to that. No. I no.
The person should, I think, go and see a doctor for checkup.
Yes. If there's so many things that could lead to you not having your menses, so you might need to speak to a GP. But the consequences that I spoke about, because I explained the fact that the plaque is built in the arteries, and that doesn't directly result
in the heart, and it's more of like our heart and tummy and all those things. So I think, as we said, let the person see a doctor and let's see. It shouldn't wait at all because it might be the right time. It's not the right time, maybe for the period to stop. But remember, nowadays, menopause starts very early.
Yeah. There's a lot of things. A lot of these days, it could be a combination of things. Because I did tell you at the beginning that cholesterol is needed in the formation of hormones.
Yeah.
Okay, and menses is also controlled by hormones and all that. But you would need to speak to a GP for them to do, a thorough diagnosis for them to be able to tell you if it's as a result of your cholesterol or not. Yeah. So yeah, that's my message to us. Let us
www.pazitoradio.co.uk. Pazito Radio, we keep you alive.
We've kept you alive this afternoon. This is Dr. Araba Osekwesi, a research doctor, and she's spoken at length today. If you and I were going to change our lifestyle, we will enjoy the fruit of our labor. We are here struggling wherever you are. You need to come on your retirement and enjoy, or at this very moment, you need, because when your health is bad or deteriorates, then everything about you will just be a standstill. So let us try, not just for hearing sake, but put them into practice. It's really good when you put those things into practice. I have done a lot and I know it is good. It is really good. At times you see the food, you really want to eat it, but you think about, is it going to help me or not? Think about those two. That's what I do. I just look at it and see. So if at first I'm going to take like that, I try to just taste a little bit and then stay back of it. But if you don't take care, your mouth will lead us to so many places. So thank you again, Dr. Araba. Dr. Araba is all the and her group, the team of doctors. They are here every other Saturday because their job is so heavy, so they can't do every week. So it's every other Saturday that they come. So until we meet again, Dr. Araba, we say thank you so much for your
thank
time.
you for having me.
Yeah, Martin Luther King said, thank you very much, Dr. Araba, for eloquency and explaining the topic. Thank Martin Luther King is also a social worker who comes every other week to tell us about parenting and all those things.
Thanks, Martin.
So we'll be again, and next time, if you have any question, if you keep it, I will write it down, and the next time we do, we will talk about it. Thank you, and
Yeah.
coming on, and thank you all. Please share the video, bless somebody with this education. So when you share, you are educating people as well. So please help us to educate people. We don't want to see people say, oh, we these are all our lifestyle. So please share the video to bless somebody. Bye bye for now.